This review serves dual purpose because on the US market, this is here the Honda HR-V. We have a different HR-V in Europe actually, looks completely different and is also shorter, smaller. At the same time, this will be, in Europe and Japan, the Honda ZR-V or ZR-V. So they have different naming strategies for different markets. So let's go here with US HR-V and European ZR-V here with Thomas and Autogefuel. Let's go. With the front, you can see it's a different front than the EU HR-V. A more roundish front. It reminds a little bit of a Ford Puma, for example. This color here is, by the way, called Crystal Black. And this then has no contrast to this black grille in this case. The lamps here, modern integration of the daytime running light. And as for the wheels, you either get 17-inch or this vehicle here is the sport trim, and that gives you 18-inch wheels in black. The length is 4 meters 57 or 180 inches, and that is actually very interesting. 24 centimeters or 9 inches longer than the European HR-V. So they are really completely different vehicles dimension-wise and also as for the exterior styling. Here you can see the styling here, prominent with this, matte black part at the rear doors. Other than that, a rather round coupe-ish design right here. Towards the rear, we can see very modern tail lamps. They already begin right here, swing right through. Also with a huge sport badging here. We've seen it also with the black alloy wheels. And a very modern rear overall then here for the US HR-V, which again will be then Z or ZR-V for European and the Japanese market. Large door handles for a compact SUV. I won't do door closing sound today because on the motor shows they tend to lower the windows so that no one goes inside and locks him or herself up. No one can get to the interior. Rather hard-packed materials here the inside, just here for the elbows it's rather soft. Then you have in this trim here a contrast stitching already inside of the doors. And it is also repeated at the inside steering wheel and also at the seats. And there are beautiful fabric or cloth seats with a nice pattern here. And once again these bronzen contrast stitches, so I think a very interesting design detail. And look at that, this flying middle console, very unusual. Premium manufacturers tend to work with these kind of design elements. Hardly have seen them from manufacturers like Honda, but I mean, why not? And the whole interior here, we've seen it with recent Honda vehicles. They really moved it up more upmarket. So from the things we see and feel, it has become less of a difference between a premium vehicle and this one. Even more so in the Honda Accord or the CR-V, for example. Here, the air vents have a very nice mesh here. Look at that. I'm not sure if they do it, for example, in 3D printing or something. So that looks pretty fancy, actually. And steering wheel up and down, in and out. Rather smooth, no problem at all. And the seating position here is actually fairly comfortable. So very nice comfort in these fabric seats. And with 1 meters 89 or 6'2", I still have plenty of headroom left. Interior overview, and what I love again is here this mesh structure at the dashboard. This is also a soft touch, the leatherette surface, very well done, and also fancy. This will display the climate, the temperature. Then nice clicking sounds here also when you turn. The vent strength and also the temperature and so on. So that's very well done. And so easy, straightforward user interface. There's a small screen here. I expect there will also be a bigger one available. This is just a basic one. So there's not much we can show you here at this moment. Maybe at a later stage when we can also drive the vehicle. But also here, volume knob to turn is a very good feature to have. Further down below, we have here the USB-A charging, and the cup holders are also adaptive. Hard to see, but you have to believe me. And then we have here the classic shift lever, small and quite sporty. Driving mode selector as well. It will be mated with a CVT automatic gearbox. Well, this flying middle console, why not? More charging possibilities. And then we can fold up this here, and astonishingly much space underneath. Steering wheel. You have here cruise control settings, a left side for volume. They have even a good build quality with clicking sounds, really like that. And then the instruments have a mix, left side 7-inch screen, so the left side is digital and the right side then is still analog. What do you think about that? In the rear you have enough space. Here both headroom also for tall people, 189 or 6'2", and also enough legroom. However, if you now compare it, for example, to the European HR-V, I think I even have more knee room here in the European HR-V, although this is the shorter vehicle. So the The European HR-V makes more use of that exterior, well, that shorter exterior length, because you also sit more upright in the rear. Here you rather, fall back a little bit. So the added length does not change the rear cabin here. Maybe it would rather have an effect on the trunk. But here, there is a middle seat here also. Let's try that. Does it work? Well, it's not too bad, actually. It works also for short ways. And when you adjust the seats here, let's see if we can adjust or only fold. Yeah, that's not adjustable. You can only fold it. But the interesting thing is when you fold it, then it also lifts down. The lower area lifts down a little bit. And let's see. Yeah, another thing is that with the HR-V, you also have the magic seats, but here you cannot lift them up. And now the trunk or the boot. And I already folded one of the seats here, but the normal length here is like 85 centimeters or 33 inches. And that's the difference then to the European HR-V. So this one here, the US HR-V or the ZR-V, it's just longer here because the European HR-V would end here at 70 centimeters. So this is what you have more in the US HR-V or more in the comparison to the when it's called Z or ZR-V. The width here, you can see here, this is 1.40 meters between the wheel arches, even wider than here. And you can see you can fold both of these seats, and the total length is almost 170 or 66 inches. Engine, a 2-liter engine, front-wheel drive, all-wheel drive with 160 horsepower, about for the US market. EU and Japanese spec then for the Z or ZR-V will be a 2-liter hybrid. So what do I think? The only advantage the American HR-V or then the Z or ZR-V will deliver in comparison to the European HR-V is actually more trunk length. Other than that, I feel that the European HR-V is the better vehicle. It is shorter overall. At the same time, you have more legroom, just a little shorter trunk, but you sit a little bit more upright. I think it's the more useful vehicle, I think. It's also available as a hybrid, this HEV system by Honda, and overall I think it's just the better proposal. So I wonder why they just haven't made this one global decision, say like, hey, we get the HR-V in the European spec also the same way for the US market. I think it would work very well. You should check out the European HR-V version, and of course also if you want to go bigger with the Honda CR-V.